12 hard! What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. Hooray!
Everyone, welcome to Drunken Sailor Brew BBQ. It's a happy Columbus Day today, a beautiful autumn day in the Berkshires. It's brew day today too. We're going to brew one of my favorites, bourbon barrel porter. Nice stout porter with some bourbon, some oak cubes in it. It's going to come out great. It's a good crowd pleaser. People love it. We're getting the mash tun ready with some strike water. Looking to bring this up to about 165 degrees. Then we're going to add some grain, start brewing away. So stick around, see how it turns out. Come on back. Alright, so here we are, getting these grains into the mash, or in the water I should say. Remember, always add the grain to the water, not the water to the grain. If you add the water to the grain, you're going to get some lumps. You don't want lumps. It's our first batch. Again, this is a porter. Alright, Jason, come on in here, take a look at this. Our second batch here. It's going to end up being about an oatmeal consistency. Looking for a mash temp of... Get that leaf out of here. You alright?
Yeah.
Alright, we're looking for a mash temperature of about 150 degrees. That meant that I needed a strike temperature of about 165 degrees. What I've got here is the, well, the grain bill is about 19 pounds of Maris Otter. And then we've got some, what do we have in here? We got some Weyermann, we got some English dark, and we got some chocolate malt. I'll list the full ingredients below. It's actually, this is a northernbrewer.com kit that I've tweaked a little bit. I want to constitute all these grains in here. And again, this is a porter, so we're going to look at real chocolatey, dark blackness. My original gravity, starting gravity I'm going to be looking for is in that 1070 range. You want the Play-Doh, you divide by 4, whatever that comes out to be. This is a 15-gallon cooler used for the mash tun. And get all these grains over on the side. I'm going to give this quick stirring. Make sure all the grains are in there. Then we're going to let it rest and do its thing. And we get a couple of balls in there, but not too bad. So the sack rest or the mash rest here is going to be an hour, 60 minutes at 150 degrees. Then we'll get to sparging and boiling. So look there, there we go. Looks like we're good and mixed up. So there we have it. We'll be back for the sparge. See you soon. Oh yes. Soon you will be beer, and the world will be a better place. Okay folks, we're at the sparging stage right now. What we have done so far is we want to get this mash tun up to about 180, 185 degrees. Have to see with the sun. In order to do that, instead of fly sparging, I'm going to go ahead and batch sparge. It's a little kind of the poor man's way of doing this, but it works just fine. I'm letting this, I filled this cooler up with right to the top with real hot water, 180, 190 degrees. That brings the temperature up. Now I'm cycling it into the kettle, which is on, getting that nice and hot. So my cameraman comes back. I'm kind of doing this on my own. So now what I'm going to do here is we'll go ahead. Missed. There we go. Get a look at that. Shade. There we go. We'll fill that up. That's super hot. We're going to pour that up into the cooler and cycle it a few times. And that'll bring our temperature up to where we want it, 190 degrees. And that way we can rinse off the sugars. So I'm going to put this down before that overflows. Hey, Sasha. Hey, you ever seen a one-eyed albino Great Dane? Now you have. Alright, we finally got this thing boiling. Had a bit of a stuck sparge. So I'm going to let that final drippings there just keep on going while I add the hops. We are at a boil. The hop profile here is going to be 2 ounces. Where are we? 2 ounces of Chinooks for 60 minutes. These are 11.2 alpha. Go ahead and add those. I love Chinooks. They smell great. There's 1 ounce and 2 ounces. Pellets, of course. So that's going to go for 60 minutes. There we go. Good boil. We're going to have some Kent Goldings near the end of the boil at 15 minutes and then at about 5 minutes or flame out. So we got 60 minutes to go. Looking good. And so with 5 minutes to go, here goes our last ounce of Goldings. Just for a little bit of aroma. There we go. And again, love them hops. Be back 5 minutes. Okay, so here we are at the transfer. I'm going to go with 4 gallons in each carboy and then kind of top them off accordingly after that. Again, through the counterflow chiller, from the kettle. This is by far the best investment. I've said it before, I'll probably keep saying it. If you can get one, copper counterflow chiller. They do make them in stainless too though, but the copper's certainly better with the heat transfer. In any case, I'm going from boiling to room temperature in a matter of minutes. So better stop this now. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, well the wort's been transferred. We're looking right at 10 gallons. I did top it off a little bit with some water. I'm getting ready to aerate this. I'm going to use the drill with the wand. I'm going to be pitching the yeast Scottish Ale. What is it, 1028 I think? I don't know, 1728 is the number. Our starting gravity, I don't know if you could see that, is right where I wanted it, surprisingly, at 1070. So if this ferments out to below 1020 is what 1020 or below, it'll be right where we want it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pitch the yeast, aerate this, throw it down the cellar, and we'll be back in 2 weeks where we'll add some bourbon and oak. Until then. Okay, come on in, Jess. Our bourbon barrel porter's been fermenting for about 2 weeks. It's time to add some bourbon and some bourbon with wood in it. This is a local distillery here in the Berkshires. Award-winning bourbon. It's delicious. These are oak cubes. Transferring the porter to my big carboy here for secondary fermentation. It's been 2 weeks, as I said. We don't want to keep the beer on the yeast for more than 2-3 weeks. It's going to start getting funky, and we don't want that. So we're going to go ahead. All the beer's going in the secondary. We're going to add these right now. Hopefully we don't spill any. Bourbon and everything's going right in there. And the wood. Okay. Come on now. There we go. There we go. That's it. Okay, a couple more. That oak flavor is really infused into the bourbon. I'm going to add a little bit more because this is a 10-gallon batch. That's good enough. Save the rest for the brewmaster. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer the rest of this porter into the secondary, and we're going to give this about another 2 weeks or so, and then we'll see how it turns out. So looking forward to see you then. See you. Okay, well, we're finally here. It's time to taste test Drunken Sailor's Bourbon Barrel Porter. It's been several months, 5 months total, from brew day to today. We're looking at February, believe it or not, here in the Berkshire Mountains, even though it's about 40 degrees and no snow. But it's time to taste test. Let's see what happens. Come on in, Jess. See what we got. Look at that. So what we're looking at is just what I was expecting. Deep, dark, chocolatey brown. Decent head on it. Jet black, actually. Just want you to back up. Let's see. Right off the bat, I can smell the wood. I can smell the bourbon. A little bit of that burnt toast porter flavor, effervescence, if you will. It's got a really nice heavy nose. It's pungent almost, but in a good way. Let's see what we got. That's good. That's why it's a crowd pleaser. It's about 8.5%, so you get a little bit of that warming alcohol note to it, but you get a lot of that, again, burnt toast, chocolate, and the wood with the yolk really empowers that vanilla, well, oak taste to it. And then the bourbon. Bourbon comes on the back end, really. You really don't get that bourbon up front. You get it after you swallow. Again, this came in at about 8.6%. Drunken Sailor's Brew BBQ Bourbon Barrel Porter. It's absolutely delicious. I'll put the whole recipe down below. Like it if you like it. If you're not, drink it anyways. Drunken Sailor signing off. Till next time, happy brewing. See ya.